ready?
I'm ready.
Want to say your name?
I am Justin Jamar,
Okay.
and
Where do you reside?
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
I'm all over the world, but I'm in Atlanta, Georgia right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
How long have you been here?
I've been in Atlanta off and on since 2007.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I spent a couple of years in LA. I'm from Kentucky originally, so I went back to Kentucky for a while. Just to kind of clear my mind after I left LA. LA's a whole nother world.
Yeah.
So, yeah, off and on since 2007, I've been in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, it's grown on me.
Good. Good. Look at that.
I didn't like it at first.
Oh, look at you.
What you know?
I didn't like it either, but it's grown
Really?
on me too. It took me 6 months to really get comfortable.
It took me probably 2 years to get comfortable.
Wow. Yeah. It took me 6 months to figure it out.
It's because I kind of grudgingly moved here. Like, it wasn't really,
Good. Yeah, you're moving.
yeah.
It's like, okay, I'll go. Okay.
But it's
Cool.
good now. I like it.
Good. My ankles are ashy. Please ignore that. Sorry. I got distracted. So, what do you do?
I am a writer, a wellness coach, and I dabble in a little acting from time to time.
Oh, really? What have you been in?
I've been seen in Tyler Perry's House of Pain.
Nice.
I've been seen in The Game.
Okay.
A couple of commercials, Motorola, Coca-Cola, Chick-fil-A. So I work sporadically.
Okay.
You know.
Cool. So, in your opinion, what is purpose?
Purpose. It's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
To me, purpose is the reason for which we all exist. You know, I think there's always a question, why do I exist? Like, why am I alive? And I think we always go back to purpose. For me, purpose isn't just one thing. Like, you're not born to necessarily do just one big thing. I think your gifts and talents lends themselves to a purpose. But that purpose could be, purpose is dynamic. I think as we grow and as we change as people, and as we get experience and, our purpose evolves. And we do one thing and we move on to the next. So in a vacuum, our purpose just isn't, we're just born to do this one thing. I think along our lives, we encounter people, situations that we can lend our gifts and talents to. So, purpose is dynamic, and it's the reason that we all exist.
So, do you feel that everyone has a purpose?
I do. And I think another thing with purpose is we think it to be this grandiose thing where it has to be something, you have to become president of the United States. Your purpose has to be what Barack Obama's purpose is, or what your purpose is, or what my purpose is. And it's different. It doesn't have to be this grand thing on a national or global scale where people recognize you. Because at the end of the day, the life or the lives that you impact, it's about those lives. And it's less about you and your accolades and what you do. It's more about the people that you impact along the way, and those people may remain nameless. And you never know. Sometimes we do things that we don't know the impact that we have on people. So what I say is we just have to, understand that there is a reason for our existence, and if we go about that every day with that mindset, that every breath that I'm giving today, there's a reason, and God woke you up for a reason. It didn't just happen.
So there are a lot of people who don't feel like they have a purpose, who don't know what their purpose is. How would you instruct them? Or what are some tools for finding purpose?
Well, I think first of all, it starts with being showing some gratification for what you have. The fact that you're alive. People often say, I don't have a lot. I don't have a lot of money. I don't have a lot to show for my life at this point. The ability to be able to have your strength of mind, to be able to open your eyes, to be able to hear the birds or to feel the wind in your face. Like, you start with that feeling of gratitude, right? And it's in that place that you start to recognize there are things in my life that I can be grateful for. And that's the place where we start. And then with that, you start to build confidence in who you are, and you begin to walk with a different level of confidence. Uh, and then you start to recognize your gifts, things that you're intrinsically gifted with. There are things that you can do that no one else can do. But there are things that come easy for you that come so hard for other people. It's just so difficult for other people to wrap their mind around things that, come easy to you. And I think the recognition of those gifts, those intrinsic talents that you have, is the beginning of finding your purpose. Because you begin to then open yourself to all new opportunities, and you start to recognize where you can fit in and help people. And people say money makes the world go round. Money doesn't make the world go round; it's the facilitator. But people make the world go round. So, you can figure out where you can help somebody else out. Where you can lend your gifts and talents to them. I think that's the beginning of finding your purpose. And then of course it's that listening to that inner voice. We call it a gut feeling or whatever. I think oftentimes we second guess our gifts and our talents because some things do come so easy. For instance, when I first started writing, it was in high school. And, I wasn't, at that time I was just taking basic English. When I got to college, I didn't take any high level journalism courses or literature courses. But writing came easy to me. It was organic. I didn't have to think about it. So in my mind, because it came so easy, I was like, I can't be doing this right. And I think that's what happens with a lot of us, is that there's some things that we're good at, we're gifted at, and it comes so easy that we start to think, this can't be right.
You talked about an inner voice. Some people feel like that inner voice is intuition, the universe, God. What is that inner voice for you?
I call it God. I think we get so tangled up in the name. The name is just a name, but it's the place from which we all emanate. From my standpoint, we didn't. Life just isn't a happenstance thing. We just didn't appear right out of nowhere. There was a creator. We were created. So that inner voice is our connection with that creation. If you call him God, if you call it spirit, if you call it whatever you call it, that inner voice that we hear is that. It's something that you can't explain, you can't name it, and intuition is just a name that we've given it. A gut feeling is just a phrase that we use, but it is God.
Are you a spiritual person?
I am. I'm a very spiritual person.
How do you link spirituality and purpose?
I think in order to really find out your purpose and identify what that is, you have to understand that you are a spiritual being having human experiences. I talk about this in my book, the prehuman condition. I don't believe that life just happened once we were born into this physical world. I believe that our spirit had an origin before we were birthed into the world. And our spirit has that purpose wrapped in it. So it's almost impossible to identify with your true purpose if you don't understand that you are a spirit first. And this body, this skin is the vehicle through which you are able to then fulfill your purpose.
And can you elaborate on that a little bit? Because I think when you say pre-human condition, I think people are going to be like, what do you mean pre-human?
Yeah.
There are people who don't feel like they existed before they were actually birthed here.
Yeah.
So can you elaborate a little bit more what you define as a pre-human?
Yeah, and this is a huge part of the book.
And what's the name of your book?
The book is entitled Wrapped in Skin.
Okay.
And just the title itself kind of gives you an idea of what it's about. But, I think a lot of religions, a lot of people speculate on our post-human condition, what it's going to be like when we die. And people seem more willing to try to wrap their mind around post-human condition. And they never once stop to think about a pre-human condition. Um, I don't know how old our spirits are. You don't know how old your spirit is. No doctor can tell you at what point your spirit was placed inside your human vehicle. Uh, but I believe that at some point during the birthing process, the conception phase, that the spirit was placed inside the vessel. I talk about what I call the Voltron epiphany. People a little older than me, a little younger than me, won't remember the cartoon Voltron, but it was about this group of like space cadets that were trained to protect the world from this evil invader, but they couldn't do it themselves. They had to be placed inside these huge robots and take over the controls of the robots to fight off the evil invader. And I feel like our spirit is akin to the space cadet. You know, it was placed inside of this human vehicle in order to carry out its purpose. Have you ever watched, we talk about like babies and their purity and the innocence that a child has. And if you watch a child sleep, they giggle, they laugh in their sleep. And if you listen to most dream psychologists, they'll tell you that dreams are manifestations of suppressed desires or experiences that we've had in life. Well, what could a baby have experienced that caused them to laugh, to have joy in their dream state? So my belief is that they're dreaming of a place that they have just recently left in the presence of God, a place that we've suppressed because of ego, because of the world, because of worldly ambitions. So that's what I mean when I say pre-human condition. I believe that God, wrapped up a bunch of gifts and talents in each and every one of us, and then birthed us into this world through our parents. I don't think that life started on your birthday. I don't believe that. I believe there was something before. There's life. Thomas Carlyle says that life is a gleam between two eternities. It's just a gleam of light between two eternities. So there's pre-human, there's your life, and then there's post-human. Whatever that is, and it's different to most people because it's speculation at this point.
Nice. Hold on, I just want to make sure we're still recording. We are. Okay. So you talked about the fact that you address your definition of a pre-human condition in your book. But overall, what is Wrapped in Skin about?
Wrapped in Skin, I think we've read books about purpose. And about, everybody knows the book A Purpose-Driven Life. A man I respect greatly just wrote a book recently called Purpose Awakening. It's Ray Roberts. He's a pastor out in LA. But I don't know if anyone has ever explored it from what we just talked about, from the pre-human standpoint. And that's what this book is about. It's about separating your spirit from your mind and from your body, and understanding the hierarchy within that your body is tertiary in the equation. Your mind is secondary, and first is your spiritual being. You are the pilot, the captain of your mind and your body. And without that understanding, it's going to be hard to maneuver this world. If we put one before the other, it's like putting the cart before the horse. So Wrapped in Skin is just trying to get people to understand that they are spiritual beings, and with that understanding comes the discovery of your purpose. Again, from the pre-human condition. I think we stumble through life because we don't understand that we're relevant. The only reason that you breathe and that you live is because there is something that you're supposed to do. And I think the world is the way it is because we haven't embraced it. Some of us, some people, embrace their their reason for existence, or at least begin the process of trying to find it. Others just resign themselves to the fact that their life is for them. You know, there's something in each one of us that is supposed to lend itself to the enrichment of humanity. There's something that you have that you're supposed to enrich human life with, and you alone. And if you choose to ignore it, if you miss the mark, someone will not benefit from it that was supposed to benefit from it. So that's what Wrapped in Skin is about. It's a book about purpose. If I had to, put one word on it, but